Welcome back to The Explainer. We're diving straight into the dark today, literally. So we're unpacking the events of the last city on Earth, specifically focusing on the deeply, deeply unsettling source material from episode 2, the signal at 3:33. I want you to imagine just waking up to find that the laws of reality, like the actual fabric of the world around you, just stopped working. We're going to break down every clue, every terrifying anomaly, and every single piece of evidence from this sci-fi thriller. Let's set the scene. The city had gone silent again. Boom, we're dropped immediately into the aftermath of something absolutely impossible. Our protagonist, Ethan, is slowly stepping away from his apartment window. You can almost feel that deliberate, agonizing pacing. Picture this heavy, suffocating quiet. The only sound in his entire apartment is his own heartbeat just pounding in his chest. And it is racing because literally seconds earlier, he wasn't alone. Section 1, the smiling crowd vanishes. Okay, let's look at this analytically for a second. How does an entire population standing right outside someone's window just cease to exist? Like, poof, gone. This wasn't a slow evacuation. It wasn't some chaotic panic in the streets. This was an instantaneous deletion of thousands of people. Let's trace the horrifying speed of this timeline. 60 seconds ago, Ethan's looking out his window at thousands of people. But get this, they aren't going about their day. They're standing perfectly still, faces totally expressionless, and they're all staring directly up at him. Creepy, right? Then, 10 seconds ago, the horror absolutely peaks. Every single person in that massive crowd smiles at the exact same moment, a perfectly synchronized, highly unnatural smile. And then, at 0 seconds, the street is completely empty. Section 2. The artifact at 333. Driven by pure panic, Ethan grabs a flashlight and rushes down to the street. And what he finds is a world trapped in a weird kind of loop. The road is exactly as it was the previous evening. Cars are just left abandoned in the middle of the street. But the traffic lights, they're faithfully changing from red to green to yellow, continuously obeying the rules of a population that just isn't there anymore. It's this eerie normality of automated infrastructure directly contrasting with the absolute absence of humanity. But look closely. Not a single footprint. Not a single sound. Just sit with that for a second. An entire crowd of thousands, gone, without displacing a single grain of dirt or leaving even a scuff mark on the pavement. The sensory isolation here is absolute. It's a total, suffocating dead air. But then, Ethan's flashlight catches something in the middle of the road, an impossible object that absolutely was not there before. He picks it up, and it's this worn-out teddy bear. And right around its neck hangs a tiny metal tag with these 3 numbers engraved on it. 333. A cold chill just runs through Ethan's body, and honestly mine too. What does this specific 3-digit metal tag mean? Is it a warning, a coordinate, maybe a timestamp? The narrative makes one thing terrifyingly clear here. Someone, or something, specifically wanted Ethan to find this artifact. Section 3. A voice in the static. Ethan retreats back inside his apartment, basically seeking any anchor to reality at this point. He starts frantically searching through old emergency broadcasts on his radio, but he's just met with endless walls of static, a sonic representation of his total isolation. But then, out of nowhere, a forgotten military frequency suddenly clicks on. A distorted, super slow voice delivers this chilling warning. If anyone can hear this, do not trust what you see after 3:33. They are not human anymore. Okay, we have to break this down. This terrifying message directly connects back to the metal tag on the bear. 3:33, is it a timestamp of the vanishing? Like the exact moment that smiling crowd stopped being human? The transmission just abruptly ends, leaving us with, frankly, 100 new horrifying questions. But seconds later, another signal interrupts, and man, this is where the paranoia spikes right off the charts. It's not distorted. It's not military. The voice is calm. It's almost friendly. And it says, "Ethan, you are not alone." The radio just spoke his name. Through all the static of a dead world, this calm voice impossibly knows exactly who he is and that he's listening. And then, the static returns. Section 4. The observer must survive. Unable to just sit and wait after a deeply personal broadcast like that, Ethan has to do something. Driven by that impossible message, he leaves his apartment to search the eerie, silent neighboring buildings for any shred of an answer. He steps into the lives of his vanished neighbors,
and what he finds is a really disturbing snapshot of interrupted normality.
The clues are literally everywhere. Televisions are brightly broadcasting the morning news to empty living rooms. Coffee cups on kitchen tables are still physically warm to the touch. Dinner plates are sitting completely untouched. The really critical takeaway here is the absolute lack of struggle. There was no alien abduction beam, no sudden invasion force that people fought back against. Everyone was just erased, right in the middle of their mundane, everyday morning routines.
But as Ethan checks these apartments, he finds one incredibly anomalous room on the block. And this is where things shift from an eerie sci-fi mystery to terrifying stalker-level horror. Because this apartment doesn't look like an ordinary morning routine at all. It really forces us to ask, who was watching Ethan? He walks into this chaotic room where every single wall is completely covered with newspaper clippings, all frantically connected by a huge web of red strings. You know the trope, right? But at the absolute center of this madness hangs one photograph. It's a picture of Ethan, taken years ago. Ethan realizes he has never met the people who lived in this apartment. Yet written boldly beneath his photograph is this chilling caption: "The observer must survive." Is Ethan the observer? Why is his survival the literal focal point of a stranger's obsessive conspiracy board in a now-empty world?
Section 5. The sky opens up. Before he can even begin to process this staggering discovery, the entire tone of the world shifts. Evening approaches. The heavy silence seems to press down even harder now. This heavy cloud cover rolls in, plunging the city into deeper darkness. And then, for the first time since the smiling crowd vanished, the city's automated systems begin to fail. The electricity starts to flicker, streetlights blink erratically, the elevators just die.
And then, all at once, the sheer scale of the event makes itself known. Every single digital screen in Nova City switches on simultaneously. Phones, billboards, televisions, laptop monitors. Every piece of glass and technology lights up with the exact same sequence. A countdown. 10, 9, 8. Just imagine the sheer panic. Everywhere he looks, the city itself is ticking down to 0. Faster and faster, the numbers drop.
The countdown reaches 0. Every screen in the entire city goes pitch black in the exact same fraction of a second. And then, just one sentence appears across all of them. Look up.
Acting against every single human survival instinct that is definitely screaming at him to run and hide, Ethan slowly raises his eyes toward the night sky. The clouds part, but the stars are gone. Above Nova City floats this enormous dark circle, a void in the sky vastly larger than the moon. And then the horrifying realization hits him. It had been there all along, hidden behind the sky, watching them. And as Ethan stands completely alone in the silent streets, staring up at this impossible mass, the dark circle slowly begins to open, and thousands of glowing eyes look back down at him. What is this hidden observer in the sky? What actually happened at 3:33? And what does it mean that Ethan, the designated observer, is the only one left to witness the whole shebang? Well, that explosive cliffhanger is where the source material leaves us breathless for now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep your eyes on the sky and